Welcome back to Gift from the Maker with Felicia Brown, aka Flea. And today we're going to finish the project that we started in the previous video. If you want to see how we got to the point we are, go ahead and review that video. But let me just show you where we started. We started with just a notebook, just a simple notebook that I had lying around. I use these all the time. They're from Full Focus. I use their planners and I got their notebooks and they all look exactly the same. So I thought I need to make these notebooks look different. So why not use the things that I have to do that? So I used scraps for this project. And so took the notebook and that's where we started. And this is what we're shooting for. So this is the one I use for my business group, which is called Ignite. And I used some decoupage paper by Recycled, and I used scraps of transfers. These flowers are transfers from Iron Orchid Design. And if you're interested, I listed all of the products in the previous video, but really quickly, the transfers are from Wild Bloomin' from Iron Orchid Design, and the paper from Recycled is I don't remember which one this is. This might be Grunge Meters. It's either Grunge Meters or Typography Blocks. I think this is Grunge Meters, but you can look that up online and you can look at my last video. So that's what we're going for. So we prepared these two notebooks. Again, they looked like the first one that I showed you. And we put Annie Sloan chalk paint in the color of Old White underneath, and then we decoupaged with recycled papers, and we put IOD transfers. The recycled paper for this one is numbered Decoupage, and so it's just a really beautiful scrap that I had. And this is part again of the Iron Orchid Design Wild Bloomin', and this one is the paper is Queen Bee, recycled Queen Bee. Look at that, that flower is so pretty. And again, Wild Bloomin', including the butterfly. So we're gonna finish these off. What I didn't get to was the edge, how to finish the edge. So I just wanted to do a quick video. I say quick, but my videos end up not being so quick. So I'm not gonna use that word. I wanted to do a video to show you how I got the edges and to put the wording on the edge so that when I look at the books, I can tell them apart really quickly. So that's where we are, that's where we come from, and let's get started. So I'm going to use mica powder in order to decorate these edges. On this one, this previous one, you can see I used a copper color and I drew a line. I'm gonna do this one almost exactly like this, except for the size of the letters that I use will be different. And on this one, I'm going to do a different color and a different edge, because I don't know if you can see that. This edge, the paper is ragged, so I'm going to just kind of free flow the mica powder that I'm going to use. And it'll be just kind of it'll be a little more organic, or will be more organic than this one. I'm going to use a straight edge, and that's fine. Whatever is your preference. I'm going to use a ruler and a Sharpie to mark out this edge and make it stand out even more, and letters. So let's get started on that. I'll do one at a time. I will start with this straight edge one and give it a chance to dry while I do the freeform one. So I have all of my supplies in front of me, I think, and we're gonna get started. So for this one, I'm gonna use May Spring Pure Copper Mica Powder. And I just love this color. That's the same color that I used on the previous one. On this book, I'm gonna use May Spring's Olive Gold Mica Powder. And I got these in a set that my husband bought me for Christmas. And there's just a bunch of different colors, and they have May Springs. You can go online and see them. They have a bunch of different colors. This is not a sponsored video. again, I'm using what I have. So I happen to have this and I thought, why not use them? Isn't that a pretty color, that wine red? I have charcoal black. So, and these other colors as well. So that's the mica powder that I'm using. Mica powder can be used with acrylic, clear acrylic. They are used a lot in for resin pours to color resin, but we're going to use it with some polyacrylic to make this edge color. So I use here are my tools for this. I'm gonna set this aside for a second. I use Minwax polyacrylic, and this one is the clear gloss. It comes in different types of finishes. They have matte, they have semi-gloss, and I like the gloss. It's a crystal clear top coat, fast drying, and it's water-based. So I'm gonna open this just using a regular paint can opener. Set that aside. I stir it. This stick, it's not a popsicle stick, because popsicle I think is a trademark. It is I think they call them craft sticks. I get them by the 1,000 in a box, and I use them over and over again. So I only use this one to stir the polyacrylic, and I just keep it in my cart once it dries, and I'll use it again and again. I'm really trying to limit how much I throw away. I can't figure out a way to not throw anything away, you know, but if I can reuse it, that's part of it's, you know, recycle, reuse kind of mantra. So I'm reusing it, and I will set it aside and let it dry. And then I'll use it again. I put that over there, and I will use it again to stir my polyacrylic. I can use it as many times as I would like. I'm taking my spoon in my polyacrylic, and I'm gonna mix my mica powder. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can put the powder down first, and then put your acrylic or medium, whatever you're using, first or on it. But I find when I do that the powder has a tendency to poof and spread all over the place. So I don't want a lot. I don't need a lot, and I want kind of a rich color. So I'm just gonna put a bit down on my silicone mat. This silicone mat is amazing, by the way. I use it as my work surface because pretty much nothing sticks to it, and I wipe it off and I just keep going. And as I'm, you know, doing these videos, the center helps me know to line up the camera so I know that you can see. So I try and just make sure I'm working in the center. So here's the powder. I don't need a whole lot. That might be even too much. Hold on, let me split it. Let me drag some away. So I'll use that for the green. Okie dokie. Not getting any out of that bag. I don't want to get too much, but I want to get enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think that'll be good. That ratio, looks like there's more powder. So let me, again, separate that. There's more powder. Look how pretty that is. Look at that copper color. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's gonna be really, really saturated with the mica powder. So my edge is gonna be really, really well done. On this previous one, you can see that it was a thinner saturation of powder to acrylic. So a thinner mix of powder to acrylic. So I want it a bit darker than that, or a bit more powder to acrylic ratio. Anyway, so I'm gonna take my book, and I have a brush. It doesn't look clean, but it actually is. It's just stained. And I'm just gonna brush it on here. And I'm gonna try and make sure I don't go over the line. I think you can see that. I'm gonna leave my stick right there so I don't go too far over the line. If I do, I'll just wipe it back. Not a big deal. I'll come back and clean that up, right? So I'm just using my powder. Remember, I'm gonna come back eventually and paint a black line that will separate the paper from this copper edge. I want to make sure you can still see it. There we go. Okay. Just want to be careful. It's better to put on thin coats than to put on heavy coats or thick coats. You can always come back and add a second coat. So you can see I have some brush strokes, you know. I don't mind brush strokes, I've told you that before. I do want to try and get some of that off the edge. So I'm taking a blue shop towel. It's a Scott Shop Original blue towel. Scott is the brand name. And I'm just going to wipe off this. I'm using water from my misting spray bottle. And you can get these pretty much anywhere. Amazon sells them. You could go to a beauty supply and find it. So those bottles are available and they're so useful. I have 2 on my cart. The one I'm using is like tired, but someone said I could use, I think they said vinegar to clean it out, and I'm gonna try that. If not, I have another set of these because I use them all the time. I have different sizes and everything. So now I think if I can see, let me leave it. I'm going to use my my dryer, the not so quiet dryer, to just quickly, oh, it's not plugged in. Well, why did I unplug this? Who did I plug in instead? Well. It's funny because I checked everything. I have all of my supplies. Excuse the noise in the background. I have all of my supplies. And I'm like, oh, I'm totally ready for this video. And then I checked to see if my Ranger heated craft tool was plugged in. There you have it. That's how life goes. And it's okay. I'm not frustrated. Actually, I think it's kind of hysterical that there's always one thing that I've forgotten or didn't check. So no matter how often you think or how prepared you think you are, you know, things happen and you may have forgotten something. It's fine. You just keep going. So there's that first coat. I'm gonna let that dry a little more, cool down and dry. It's pretty much dry to the touch, but I'm gonna do the second one now. And the second one, I'm gonna use the green olive gold for it. I still have, look how much I have left. That'll give me my second. And then I'll use a little more, not too much, just a little more. And I have a different craft stick, a smaller craft stick for this one. And try not to oversaturate it, but get enough in there. There we go. And I'm gonna close that up. I'll throw that up there. So pretty. Just mixing them. Look at that color. Whew. Yeah, I really like these mica powders. Really, really happy with them. Again, you don't have to use this brand. You don't have to use mica powders. Um, Wood You Bend is a company that has Posh as one of their brands, and they make pigment powders. So the gold that I've used on other ones, oh, goodness, on other books or other things is from that. And I'm just using a wet wipe. This is an adult wipe, and it is a water wipe, and I purchased it on Amazon. I'm just taking some of this pigment off because I want to use the same brush. I probably should have used a different brush. You know, I have a second brush over here. Let's go ahead and use that. That way I don't have to waste time. So this one's going to be a little more interesting because, again, this is feathered. I ripped it and it's not a straight edge. So I want to show you what I will do with this. Take this stick, flip it around, and I'll start up here. Start on my edge, right? And just kind of come up where the edges are and butt up against them. Not a big deal. Not trying to be perfect, but just trying to do a little more organic edge. I can see that I've gotten some of the paper. That's okay. I'm going to pull the excess out. And I'm going to brush, kind of take off anything that looks extra. I'll look at it from the side. I can see here I didn't get all the way to the edge of the paper. So I'm going to go up again. I have to lay that down. It's probably easier for you to see if I lay it down. And there we go. A little more organic than the other one. Right? Okay. I can use this also to wipe excess. From the edge. Oops. Okay. I'm going to go back here just a little. There we go. See, pretty simple. Okay. Well, since the last time we were together, I had a birthday. And so I had several birthday parties, super fun, and got it together with family and friends and lots of laughter, lots of different, I had 3 different groups. I'm still supposed to have one more for those who couldn't make it to the other one. It's kind of a makeup party. And I'm looking forward to that. But what I loved about the party the most, or the parties the most, was I just got a bunch of different people together and people in different spheres in my life. And, you know, they only would only get together because of my birthday or be, you know, around me. They only have met one another because of me. And that's, it's not about me, but I love when they get together and they just have such a good time. My sister came up from LA and she got to meet and see some of my friends who she hasn't seen in years, maybe since my wedding years and years and years ago. So that was super fun. I just want to show you this. This one was super pigmented. I don't know if it's catching all of the nuances. That gold in there, like if I'm looking kind of straight on or kind of from the side, I mean, I see olive, but if I'm looking at it like straight on, that gold is just fabulous. So, oh, you know what? I see. I've missed all of this. Oh, yikes. Huh. That's funny. Good thing I looked at it from the side. This is all like no paper. Hello. Okay, this it's like right in here. No paper. It was more organic than I thought. Okay. Yeah, I'm loving this. Whoops. Okay. So let that dry a little and go. Let me dry it and then set it aside. So one of the funnest parts of my party, I was able to gift in the first party that was on my actual birthday. I was able to do party favors, and the party favors were things that I had created, and everybody got to choose as many of the things as they wanted. And they could take them home and they could use them for themselves or as gifts for other people. And you know, there were women, because it was all women, who were like, oh, my friend so and so would love this. Oh, this looks so good in my house. So it was super, super fun. I really enjoyed that. One of my favorite parts of the party was the giveaway. Okay, so let's keep going. Don't want to make this video too long like the last one, which was almost an hour. And we still didn't get finished. So I'm going to put my second coat on here. And I just want to make it so that it's more saturated, right? Like the color is richer than it was. Richer than the other one that I showed you. The first one I did. My sample. Look at that. Look at that copper. So gorgeous. Yeah, that's just really, really pretty. I'm gonna dry this. Sort of dry it with the heat gun. And you may be wondering, am I getting any of this on my pages? Yep, I am. I'm okay with that. That's me. I'm not overly concerned, so I'm not being overly careful. There are times when I am overly careful or more careful because I don't want to have paint go somewhere else. This isn't one of those times. This is for me, and I have paint on pretty much everything. Almost all of my clothing. I went to an artist retreat recently, had paint on my hands, took a shower, had paint on my hands, found a stain on my leg. Yeah, so paint on my stuff is quite normal for me. So there's that one. And then, oh, let me show you what I'm doing with this. So this is done. I'm not going to put another layer on. So I'm going to stick my brush in just a cup of water. I'm going to swirl it around because it's not the mica powder that I'm concerned about. It's the polyacrylic. If it dries, it will harden my brush and I will not be able to use it and I will have to throw it away. And yes, I've done that before. So that's how I know. So I'll put that aside. And this cup, by the way, gosh, that's so pretty. Swirling in there. I digress. This cup, I got water from a restaurant in this cup and poured it in the water into my water bottle. And so this cup I didn't drink out of it. And so I kept it because I knew I could use it for water. So again, a reuse, so I don't throw it away immediately. And I can clean that out and reuse it again. So I'm just trying to do what I can. I can't reuse everything. I can't keep everything that I use out of the landfill, but I can minimize as much as possible. So let's finalize this one. There's just these spots right here that I went back on, and I want to make sure those get covered, get full coverage. I am looking for good coverage on these. This one's just going to have this pretty edge, this really raw edge. I'm not going to do a line, and I'm looking at it from different views to make sure. And I think that's it for that. Gonna do the same thing with this brush. Drop it in the water that's over here to the side. And so I chose this color to go with these leaves. And it really makes the pink stand out. And I think it's so pretty. Heat gun, heat tool. Not supposed to say the G word. Heat tool. Let's give it a quick dry. And this is really quick drying. Like I said, polyacrylic. So just a really quick touch with the heat tool. Finish that. Let it finish drying. Off to the side. And then I'm gonna take this quick touch. I wanna do a little more drying on it. I'm gonna wait a moment to let it cool down. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna clean up my mica powder. I wanna show you how quickly and easily this mat cleans up. So my spoon, there's nothing wrong with it. Just wipe it off. I can use it again. Put the top back on. Polyacrylic. Okay, set it aside. And then I just need to clean this up. And I can use, let's see if this will work. I'm going to wipe this off. Wrap these in there and toss those in the trash can. And I'm gonna go back to this. Use a little water. And I also have these scrapers, and I just like to go through. It just lifts some of the stuff off and scrape it off just a little, because it dried, right? Some of it dried on the mat. And my mat, whoops. Look at the bits. And water will allow me to get that up. Just move it along. And I'll clean this more thoroughly once I'm done creating. But I just want to make sure those bits are out of the way and that mess isn't drying. Or it's okay if it dries because I can scrape it off, but I'm going to end up in it. And my project's going to end up in it. So the second to the final step is sealing all of this again. But the second to the final step is stamping along here. And so this book I'm using for Sunday sermon notes. So I'm going to stamp the word Sunday with the number 1 next to it. And this one I'm using for my YouTube video notes. So I'm going to put YT on it. Super simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. The stamps that I'm using, set that aside really quickly. I'm using Iron Orchid Design stamps, and it's the Apothecary Labels stamps. And it comes with 4 different pouches, and they have different sizes of letters and then these apothecary labels. I'm going to use this letter set, and that is over here. So I'm using this set, and I have already pulled off my Sunday letters and my number 1 and placed them on a sheet that I can use to stamp straight, get a straight stamp on. So I'm going to put this down so you can see the difference. The white behind this was really difficult to see. What I've done, maybe, kind of crazy looking. Anyway, I'll move that for a second. What I've done was I put the stamps, you can see them, a piece of plastic that I'd put, this is transfer tape from Cricut, and Cricut is a die cut machine, and in order to pick up what your design and put it on something else, use transfer tape. So this is transfer tape and it has straight lines, and I just need something with straight lines. So as you can see, I put Sunday 1 on here by just following the guide of this line. Not hard at all. And for me, I can't really see it, so I'm going to use this mat. This is just a, I don't know, a plastic mat for cutting, plastic cutting mat. There you go. I'm going to use Iron Orchid Designs black ink. Oh, and what I was going to do, because I always get ink all over myself when I use these, I'm going to put on gloves, just because I don't want to get ink all over me and my projects. Oh. So I put on my gloves, and I'm just going to take the ink pad. I see that there's a hair on this. Let me grab, see if I can grab that off of there. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to take the ink pad, turn it upside down, and pounce it on my letters. I want it there. I want my letters to be very well inked. You'll hear people use the phrase juicy. You want your letters to be juicy. Put that back. I'm going to wipe my hands now. I can't forget I put that little hair there. Throw that away. Wipe my hands. And find my book. I'm going to place my book here, and Sunday is going to go along the edge. And what's nice is I lined so I can line it up. I don't want it all the way at the top. And lay it down, press, hold, run your fingers over it. Don't squish it too much. Press, press, press. And lift. And there's Sunday 1. Lovely. Let's set that aside for a moment while I... Oh. Man alive, did I just throw that away? I'm so bad at that. What I want to do is I want to get the ink off of my letters before it has a chance to dry. So I'm just taking one of my water wipes, and I'm going to wipe off the letters. Okay, just really quickly. Put that wipe aside because I'm going to need it for something else. Now, I want to put that aside. I want to heat set this. You can see that my letters aren't crisp, and that's because when I set it down, it slid a little. I wasn't holding it tightly enough, but I don't mind that. Again, it's for me. I know exactly what it says. So, heat set, put it aside, and do the second book. And I just need a Y and a T. Now, I didn't put the Y and the T on this yet because I wanted to show you how I did it. Sorry, I keep moving stuff around. So I'm going to take the set that I have, and I'll find the Y and the T. I'm going to use the bigger letters because there's more room at the top on that booklet. So I'm just going to pull off the Y and the T. Take it, and I will start a little ways in using these lines as my guide. And then the T is going to be set next to it, bumping up against it and at the same level, right? And you start from right to left as you lay your letters down, because you're going to flip it over and it goes from left to right that way. So again, you have to lay your letters backwards. When you stamp, your image needs to be backwards when the stamping side is facing you. So this T did not look good to me. Press it down. These have light adhesive on the back, so they stick, but they aren't hard to peel off. So there's that. And because of this color, I thought I would try something different and use the IOD white. And this is the reason why I put on these gloves, mainly because this white is a mess. I don't know what I was doing. See, look, I've got it all over the place. I'm not sure. I just have a hard time with this one, but that's okay. I'm gonna take and wipe it off really quickly. The excess. Wipe it off. But see how quickly that ink sets? That white. That's crazy. It's amazing. Anyway, I don't want it to dry, so I need to go ahead, put my book down, and get this where I want it. I think that'll be good. Press. Not too hard, but I want to make sure I get all of it. It lifted up by itself. That just did not come out the way I wanted it. So, can you see that? It's really hard. So what I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and go over it with the black. I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to wipe off my letters. Okay. Maybe the pad wasn't wet enough, inked enough. So that's okay. Well, let's take it again. I do have smaller mounts, stamp mounts, but I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. So now I need to kind of line up where this was before. I'm going to try and get close, but again, it's me. I'm not worried about it. Oh, it slid. Did you guys see that shift? Oh, that was a lot. So this is going to be, oh my gosh, what a mess. What a mess, what a mess, what a mess. Oh my Lanta. I do not like that. Let me see if I can get this off. Ooh, look at that. Good, good, good. Okay. I'm going to try that again. Here, let's see if I can, there's a remnant of it, but for the most part, it's gone. I'll try it again. That was just bad. Whew. A little more, maybe because I didn't dry the white. Yikes. I am, oh. This is horrible. What am I doing? Okay. I need a piece of paper. Here's a scrap. let me just, oh, that looked pretty darn good. It's just in the cracks and crevices of everything. One last time, I promise. Okay, okay, and that's it. That's it. I'm just gonna lay it down, and it is what it is. When I pull it up, it can't be what it ain't. So, okay. Oh, much better. Well, thank goodness, because that was looking pretty bad. So let me set that aside while I clean this mess up. I've got all in everything. I do want to keep my ink from building up on these. I don't want it to dry. You may be thinking, well, clean it later. I want to see what you're doing next. Well, I don't want it to dry on these. So pull it off. The mat's now wet. I'm going to return them to this when they're good and dry. For now, let's put that aside. You don't need to watch me stick it back to the mat. And we're going to use our dryer to set these. I can see that the ink is wet. It's pooled. I don't know if you can see, if the camera's catching that. It's pooled. So I'm just going to use a little more heat on it. Because if I touch it, because it's wet, it's going to smear, run, get all over everything, and I won't be able to seal it. I'm looking at this one and I can see that it's dry, but this one isn't. So just bear with me for a moment as I dry this. Go ahead and pull off my gloves. And yes, I will use them again. They're not that dirty. And even if they were dirty on this side, I can flip them over, switch hands, and use them again. So that one. So my hands are clean. I'm going to touch this. It's sticky. I can feel it. Put that aside. Let's go ahead and take care of this one. Now I'm going to use a completely clean brush for this. I'm just going to seal it, and that's the end of this project. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this, touch it. Okay, it's dry, so I'm going to seal the whole thing again. And that's a really important thing. Oh, I'm not done. I have to do. So let me seal this. But the important thing is when you seal a project, you're sealing layers, but you're sealing the whole thing. So some layers get sealed, several times, and some don't. This one I needed to seal. I have to add the line. So again, this is a quick sealing. Let's move this so it doesn't get heated up. Quick sealing. I don't want to put too much heat on this because these are plastic, right? They'll melt. I don't want to melt anything bubbled. I've heated things where they can bubble, and if that's the effect I'm going for, great, but I'm not going for the bubble effect. I just want to seal this, dry it enough so that I can add the finishing touches on this one. Yeah, so When I'm done with this, I'll show you my idea for the next project, just to draw you in and get you intrigued. So this is how they look. I haven't sealed this one yet. This is, I'm gonna let this dry before I seal it, so you probably won't get to see the final on this one, but that's okay. It will, just like this, it got sealed. This one, I need one more step, as I promised. This one, the final step, is taking a ruler and my Sharpie, and I'm just gonna make a straight line because I want to have a very crisp, I don't want to get my head in the way, but I want to have a very crisp line going from one edge to the other. I'm going to press down. And that's it. That is the final project on this. So again, a simple notebook, plain. I have it lying around the house. You may have other notebooks that you have lying around the house that you can do something similar to. I use scraps. You can use fresh pieces. I use decoupage paper and transfers. I've used mica powder and polyacrylic, and I've used stamps and ink. I've told you all of the products that I've used. Let me make sure I have the whole list. So again, I use the Mayspring mica powder, a Sharpie, which is the ultra thin point black. I use Minwax polyacrylic clear gloss, Iron Orchid's Apothecary labels, and their black and white ink. I used water wipes that I purchased on Amazon. I used Scott Shop Original Blue Towels. I used Cricut transfer tape for the straight lines that I used to stamp with. And I used, oh, I didn't do that. I'm not gonna show you that one. So that's all that I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like it, please click the like and notifications if you want to know when I'm posting my videos. My goal is to have a video a week, and trying to post again every Saturday. Sometimes I'll have more, I might have fewer depending on what happens. Holidays happen, etc., etc. But tell your friends if you find this interesting. And our next project is going to be using an Amazon recycle bag. Yep. What can you do with this? I'll show you more in our next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.